Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, Mega. How are you? Welcome to
I'm
the
good. How
stream.
are you, Nimit?
I am fine. I will just check everywhere that we're live correctly. Give me a
Sure.
second. Yeah. So we are correctly live on Twitch. Let me just check if we are correctly live. Okay, we are correctly live on LinkedIn too. And I just quickly check for YouTube. Amazing. We are live everywhere. Okay. So now let's wait for our audience to join it. So we are going to cover a lot today, Mega. So are you excited to talk about DevRel in general and your experiences and how your journey has been?
Absolutely. I think my passion aligns a lot. A lot of people have complimented me at multiple different places where I was not even, talking about DevRel per se, but I was talking about something else, and they were like, "Okay, you seem to be very passionate about what you do. We don't understand it fully, but we understand that your passion is flowing and maybe overflowing." So these kind of compliments. So I'm really excited.
Definitely.
So I can't see how many people are live and who is the audience, but let's have a party, folks, and talk about Devrel and
Definitely,
first.
we are actually starting to get a number of audience. We have started to get audience from Twitch, YouTube, and I guess in some time we'll also start getting audience from LinkedIn. We I have kept a buffer of 2 to 3 minutes more so that we can have the audience captured here and then we can start nicely. Uh, so people who have joined, you can just introduce yourself in the chat. We will be able to see all the comments, and me and Vega would be personally replying to you. And if you have any question during the whole event, we would be taking up them, and yeah, we'll try to solve them. We'll try to give the best examples and answers to them. So yeah. So today, Mega, we are going to cover a lot of topics, and I everywhere I wrote that we are going to go into a deep dive of DevRel, right? So I will just give a brief to what are the other topics that we are going to cover, right? So just give me a second.
Anyone there? At least comment hi so I can see how many people are there.
Yes.
Yeah, and who all are there.
So there's this one caveat that we won't be able to see chats from LinkedIn. So I will be parallelly opening the LinkedIn stream so that I can see the chats from there too,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will, so that we don't miss any comments from the LinkedIn fam, because we know you have a very good following. Oh, actually, we have already like 12 people from LinkedIn.
That's
I would just ask everyone to just say hi here in the chat, uh, so that we know key from where you're coming, what is your background, and how well we can facilitate you in our conversation today.
right. And not just DevRel, you can ask me anything on software engineering as well because I have like around 13 years of software engineering experience before moving into developer advocacy.
Amazing, that's amazing. Actually, I am going to go into deep dive about your career journey also and how you got into DevRel. That is an important topic for people who want to make a switch to this field or who are looking for opportunities in this field.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm.
Hey Raghavendra.
Hi, Raghavendra. Hi, welcome to our stream. We are going to start in a minute. We will just share one.
I didn't post it on my post.
From questionnaire, building a product in developer education space. Oh,
That's
Radha, that is amazing. We want to know more about these products that you are building for developer education. Me, myself, and Mega vouch a lot about education and developer education in general and how much it is important. So, thank you for joining us. And I feel this would be a stream which would be very much resourceful for you. So, yeah.
yeah.
Uh, okay,
Raghav is
I guess Megha,
online as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go on.
we can start. Actually, we have a very good audience already with us, joined with us. So
Yeah.
let me start with the first question, and the first and the foremost, most important question. A lot of people might be youngsters are joining, and a lot of people would be from corporates also, right?
Right.
Trying to understand what is actually developer relations all about. So
Okay.
yeah,
So I cannot give, okay, one bookish definition could be developer relations is two parts: developer advocacy, where you speak at conferences, meetups, or corporate, and that is like a little bit of technical, where you create demos and you debug issues and basically enable developers. Then second is the community management part, where you form you flow passion into those communities for your product, and you basically try to make better developers, try to solve their issues, take their, you complete the feedback loop, take their problems. So advocacy and community management goes hand in hand, and that is DevRel. So what you will see is either you will see developer advocate roles and community manager roles, or you will see DevRel engineer, a person who will do both the things. And if I talk in a very layman language, so if you have a product which you can sell to any customer, so you do B2C. If you have a product which you want to sell to a company, that you do B2B. But what if your customer is like a special customer, which is your developer audience? So let's say you have a software as a service or platform as a service which you can only sell to developers. You cannot give an ad in TV. So there are many strategies, and that is where developer relations will come, where you can uh, advocate for the developers first, like forget the marketing and sales. Advocate for the developers means solve their problems, make them better developers, and then you say that okay, my product will help you in that journey. That is what development is for me.
exactly, exactly. That I feel was the most apt definition that anyone could have ever given, because developer advocacy is first developers and then about the product.
Then
Because unless and until we won't understand the developers' need, we won't be able to make a product around them or around the community, right?
around the company.
So amazing. Thank you for the definition. And with that, let's move forward to our next question, which is quite interesting, right? We have seen that this DevRel role has been there since like last, I guess, 7 years or something. Right? That is my knowledge. Okay, I'm a 23 graduate, so I might not know a lot of things, but Mega has more experience into this. But it has already been there globally out there. Okay, people
Yes.
have had DevRels for different technologies. Okay, and it is a successful venture for a lot of people. Right now, slowly I've seen this trend that it is also seeping into India. Right, and
Yes.
Indian markets are also trying to acquire more DevRels, and they are trying to leverage this resource and trying to make the best out of it. Mega, can you just shed more light on this? Like how this sudden boom is going on, and what do you feel about this, and what is the future to this?
Okay, so sudden boom, it's not a sudden boom. It was like, if in the hindsight, if you see the growth, Indian IT grew very well, right? So now a lot of developers in India, not only developing for India but also the world. So that is how we have to sell products, software as a service and platform as a service, when to these developers. When I started my developer journey, I was doing a lot of stuff which was so hard. And then with the advent of infrastructure as a service, then software as a service, platform as a service, and then software as a service, I could see that a lot of problems getting solved, and becoming easier. So now, since India is building for the world as well, and that journey India has taken in the IT sector, so that is where DevRel also comes into picture, and we need people who can talk to developers, because a salesperson or a marketer cannot sell that product to developer. Someone who has actually felt their pain, the production issues, the adoption barriers, can take their feedback to the product managers or product manager marketing team. They can only talk to the developers and convince them that okay, the product will actually help them in any way, or maybe help the company pivot to solve the actual pain point rather than what they have. Because there in any business we assume something, but when we do surveys and when we talk to real people, we pivot that okay, this is the problem they are facing and this is the problem we were assuming. So bridging that gap is, I think, that is why DevRel is I mean, I think 2 to 3 years back DevRel started booming in India, and that is when I also, like, 2 years back, I got this opportunity as well. So yeah, that is my
Definitely.
take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we actually pin down those problems that developers are actually facing right now, and then we try to make a surrounding a safer ecosystem around product so that they can use it, right?
Yes.
That is yeah.
Yeah.
So another question, yeah, Mega, go on.
Yeah, I was saying that aptly added. Yeah, go on.
Yes. So let's move on to the next question. A lot of people might be wondering, we have already known a lot of functions of business, be it marketing, sales, right? Developers, then a lot of other functions, HR. Okay, these are functions which people already know. Traditional functions work very nicely with companies, they have their own importance in the company, right? What is the value proposition that DevRels bring to this market? And like, how is it different from marketing or sales?
Okay, so I have worked closely with the field marketing, and some companies keep DevRel under the CTO's org, and some companies keep DevRel under the CMO's org. So I think it's a mixture of tech and marketing, and I feel that it's like two three things which are very very important with this. So the problem which DevRel is solving, see, some simple marketer cannot, maybe they can hand over something which is already recorded, or blog which is already written. But let's say you are facing a little different problem, then someone who is technical enough, right? That person can actually solve your problem. Otherwise what will happen is field marketing will give the webinar, recorded webinar, or maybe the live webinar link or technical. But then okay, your use case is similar but not exactly same. Then what do you need to do? You need to talk to a technical person who can understand your pain point and at least help you find a solution. So that field marketing cannot solve, and this person should be genuinely interested in solving that problem as an engineer rather than pitching the product to you. So that is where I think this is the value proposition of DevRel. That is where DevRel comes. Someone who is genuinely interested in solving, and they are an engineer. They have faced these kind of problems themselves in their journey. Like, I have seen DevRel who were like 20 plus 30 plus years engineering experience, and then they ventured into this domain. So I have seen young people as well, because we need young people for the community. So we need enthusiastic people to bring the community together to see, oh, okay, this is the product which can solve so much. So these things are the value proposition.
Definitely. Yes, that makes so much sense. So, one question that I had is, there is also a technical customer success role that
Yes.
a lot of people keep as DevRels, but like they don't understand the difference between that.
Between
So, can you just
essay.
give a brief on that? Yeah,
Okay, so again, my take and whatever I've seen in 2 years, I think the essay and technical success roles, they go deeper into the domain and actuals of everything. But as DevRel, right, when we are going to conferences or meetups, we have to give a generic story, or like, what is my right way of using the product and a starter journey. Like, okay, when you are coming to my product, either you are migrating or you are starting a fresh journey. So I have to keep it a little basic, beginner to intermediate content to start with, if you are in reach, awareness and engagement stage. And if you are in enablement, like, that comes later on, like you can do workshops. But that also, you have to keep the content something where everyone can relate to that use case or the talk you are giving. You cannot go very very advanced. for the SA and customer success roles, right, they have to talk to the customer regarding, okay, what is their data model. Let's say, I was in a database company, so what is their data model, and what are the challenges they are facing, exact challenges, and solving for them, and being there in their journey. Although DevRel can also do the same function, like I also used to speak to some customers, but I was focused more on what is the right way to do things.
Exactly. Yeah. I understand. Like, there's a very good different thin line of difference between these two roles, and yeah, like it seems like an interesting, I guess, umbrella which
Umbrella.
has a lot of, yeah, which has a lot of functionalities. We have to talk with, yeah. Moving on
So
to that question again, like, what is your day-to-day interaction as a DevRel? Like, with whom do you interact the most? With which teams do you interact the most? And just give me your give us your day to days. How important is your role? How pivotal is your role for your company?
sure. So in my past experience, what I was doing is I was doing a little bit of strategy. Again, as we were talking about top of the funnel, then middle and bottom. So top of the funnel, how will you get is doing some live webinars or video content or technical blogs or speaking at conferences. So for India, I used to strategize, okay, which conferences will be suitable for my product. Like I cannot go to every conference on the earth, but in India, I have to go to,
Definitely.
if I have to penetrate India, I have to go to India and nearby regions. If I have to penetrate Asia Pacific, then I have to go to major cities of Asia Pacific to start with, right? So these are the things I used to do, and then figuring that out and what kind of talk will suit there. Looking at the previous year's talks as well as latest technical trends and what my product can offer in those domains. For example, antics Vidya.
Definitely.
So I submitted a talk on generative AI there, and it got selected like as a CFP call for proposal on merit. So that is how you can plan, and you can pitch your product in the hindsight, but you have to talk more of the problem. Like, okay, you face the problem of data synchronization. If you have a separate vector store and separate database, we solve it like this way. And if you want, you can learn like my previous company's product more. So that is what we can do as a, and then we have to amplify it. Like for example, top funnel these activities, then middle funnel more and more focused content. Let's say someone wants to start that journey with the product, so some kind of webinars like zero to hero, very focused on someone who is starting from scratch and they are gonna develop using that. And then apart from that, with the field marketing teams, these kind of initiatives, tracking this with campaigns, UTM links. So as an engineer, we might not be the best one to do the tracking. So joining hands closely with field marketing, and then with the sales, like which customers they want to target on the basis of opportunity or on the basis of current revenue they are giving to the company, both the things. And then lastly, on the like bottom of the funnel, whoever is already paying or already signed up, doing workshops to enable them so much that they become they take more and more workloads and they become qualified leads. But then you don't have any sales targets, because you have to think like an engineer, deliver everything like an engineer, prepare for the conferences like call for proposal, demos, everything, webinar, tech blogs, everything like an engineer. But you have to join hands to be mindful to prioritize your work. Like for example, if I'm only speaking at conferences, I might not get those many customers or leads realized. But yes, people will be aware, there will be reach. But if I have to get business indirectly for my company, I might be speaking at some of the corporates and some of the people who have already shown a lot of interest, and then I can help them in their journey, like how to do
Amazing.
things right,
Amazing.
why would we be doing this.
Amazing. So we have a question from our Twitch chat. So hey Mega, I have a question. It's from Shamat Shah. What are the best channels to engage with other users and your team?
uh, I didn't. So I have not understood. So what I've understood is what are the best channels, like let's say Slack, Teams, or something, to engage with other users and your team. So I think we can, like internally within my team or with the external, like inter and intra team. I find it useful to do chats, and also when we are working or on some documents or PPTs, commenting, so that we can work async. I was working in a lot of time zones, from Singapore to China to US and UK and India. So I used to do a lot of async work using the commenting thing on the Google Docs, Excel, and like Google Sheets and slides. So these kind of things, plus chat, informal chat, and mailing only when it is at most required. Because I think better to informally update if you have a very good working relationship, and then formally update when everything is like formalized. And
Yeah,
apart from that, giving good timelines, like properly communicating the timelines and with other users, that I think field marketing can set the channels. Or you can after after the conferences, people will actually come to you if they really feel that you can solve their problem. So you can talk to the users in the live engagement or after your workshop and after the webinars, or maybe like live stream, you are asking me a question. So that is what is the best channel to engage with users.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. And I guess to add on to these, I guess blogs are a very good source of, I guess, engaging with users, which we haven't, I guess, met to, and these other users who are in different field who just want to understand what your technology is. I guess
right.
blogs are a very good part of it. And you
Absolutely.
yourself have written a lot of blogs. Coming on to that question, uh,
Right.
like if one person has to start with these field, right, DevRel, what are the prerequisites that he, she, or they should have so that they can be a successful person in this field itself?
Right. So you have to be a good engineer. When I say engineer, you don't have to think just like a coder, but entire journey. Let's say someone is coming to you for your product and they say, okay, we can use this, but currently we have this product plus this. So can we remove those two and replace? So you should be aware about other products as well. For example, if someone is saying I have a DB and a cache, and I am saying my DB does won't require a cache because it will reduce the latency by a factor of 100 if used rightly, right? So
Hmm.
in that case, I should be aware about that cache and that DB, so that I can convince them, or I can talk through them. Or maybe if, let's say, my product is lacking something, then I can take that feedback to my PMM and PM. So that is the thing where you cannot be a successful person in DevRel if you only understand your product and you only know how to demo it. You have to go a few steps back and few steps ahead. Because let's say if I'm demoing my product, then people might say, okay, how will I deploy if I create something? So I should be able to answer that. And then if I am let's say my product is only a database, then I should be able to understand their pain points a little bit, front end, back end, so that I can guide them. Okay, this is how you can connect. Either you can connect directly to the API, or you can create your backend as a service, or use this platform itself to create a back. So I should have that entire journey, and then I should be able to understand what is the size. If I have to shard, like for example, it is like 2.2 times the data in a shard, the storage capacity should be, and then divide by the number of shards. These kind of formulas, these kind of CPU, IOPS, these kind of terminologies, and understanding them, and also able to show them how you will do the observability, because that is very important in this date. And
Exactly.
then how to
Yeah.
do Gen AI, or so you will be if you can talk that much, and not only talk, you understand that journey, end to end journey, then only you'll be a successful. If you only focus on your product and just the demo, and have devo demons, so you might not be a very successful developer, because you will do the reach and awareness, but then you will not be able to create that impact. And then some when we were talking about tech blogs, webinars, good to scale, but then why people invest so much in live engagement? Because the actual leads come after live engagement. Scale is good, people will know about the, and either people are actually using your product and solving the problem, so it is at most necessary, but then live engagement also cannot be replaced for enablement.
Amazing, amazing.
So
So that was a very deep dive into
but
actually a lot of
I should
engineering
conclude it.
problems.
I should conclude it. So be a better engineer, be a coder, be an engineer, know your product and know your value proposition against the other products in the market. Last but not the least, practice speaking virtually, like practice creating videos. For example, I was not very good with creating videos, still learning. So learn like find out where your passion lies and what your forte is. You cannot do everything: technical blogs, webinars, live stream. So my forte was live stream and speaking live on the stage. So you have to figure out your forte. If you can do all, nothing like it. So that is the conclusion.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, yeah. So those are some of the prerequisites that one has to take care of when they are getting into DevRel. Obviously, it is engineering. You should have a very firm base into engineering. And I guess what you described is also you have to be jack of all trades. I guess here, like you have to know a lot of things. You have
Right.
to a lot of things, as in like you don't have to deep dive into everything,
Yeah.
but then you should know, have a general awareness about what is happening right now. Yeah,
Yes. Breadth. T cup. T.
yeah.
So I know there's a V as well, but I think in DevRel we need a T, breadth, and then depth into certain areas, which will be your product and surrounding things.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So like why that helps, why the breadth helps, because you would be able to interact with the most number of different audiences in your developer relations, right? Like someone would come from the Rust background, someone would come from Gen AI, so you should know everything in general a little bit, and then you should know obviously more about your product and like how that is going to help everyone, right?
Right, right.
So
So basically you should be aware of generic things which happen in like any cloud product or like cloud platform. So we have three different cloud providers, and maybe some people even use others which the product might not be integrated to yet. So you should be aware of those things, and you should understand, okay, this is how, let's say, AWS Lambda works, so Azure functions work and Google functions work. So maybe someone comes with the Azure background or Google background, AWS background, but you should be able to understand, okay, this is a serverless code. It will automatically scale and it will be run whenever I have, and it will have dynamic input, and it will be basically totally separated out. So those kind of things, and then language can be any, but you should be able to understand the concept. You should keep it language agnostic, just like Mangam hiring or product company hiring. So that is where these are the things. So it's, if someone is coming, like for example, if someone is coming from Rust or Go, you should be able to answer it generically, a little bit of it, not exactly. You will not be able to answer anything exact after the conference, and it's okay to say that you will get back and you don't know the answer, but do not misguide anyone.
amazing, amazing. So, just following up with that last anecdote that you shared, that a lot of people come to you, ask questions, and I feel that is because you represent a company that in itself gives you a hero image for your company. You have to be hero for your company, right?
Yes,
You have to
yes.
be that person who is going to step up in front of the audience and is going to share their views and is going to be a person who knows a lot about the product, right? So
Right,
there might be people in general, can be students, can be people in their professional careers who would be looking out to you, right? Because you might be posting a lot on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, right?
right.
So that is also one thing that I want you to touch upon. Like, how difficult is it to be out there in public and constantly as a be a person who is mentor to a lot of people, right?
Right.
So yeah.
So I think I was the face of my last company. At least a few people said that to me, so I would believe that. So what I did is I was very honest, and I'm in reality also I try to be honest as much as possible. But what helped me is I really loved my product, so I still love it. I love the product. I left the company because I wanted to start something of my own, and I had some other vision. But even at DevRel Squad, when we our first thing is consulting, and then second thing will be a product where we capture insights or automate DevRel. We are trying to do something new, but yeah, let's see. But we have to believe in the product ourselves. We should feel that, okay, I what was I doing? My first thing when I used that product was, what was I doing for 13 years? Oh my god, this is so cool. And then I was sharing my love for that product as a developer, with other developers or with other engineers, I would rather say. So that is what I was doing, and that is why you have to be very genuine, very honest. And if you really feel that your product is faulting, you should be able to get that information back to the PMM. That is why honesty is the best policy for this field. So that is what I want to do. Be honest, really love the product. If you don't, if you find things, go back to your PM or PMM and report that.
Amazing, amazing. So, one interesting thing that let's get into the more trickier and more mischievous part of DevRel, right? So, people have a lot of myths about DevRel. Okay, like they have this myth, they get to travel a lot. DevRel is like they don't do a lot actually, like they just talk out there, and they don't know the actual value proposition, and then like they also think कि, hey, we have marketing, why do we need DevRel? We have sales engineers, we have a lot of myths out there. Okay, let's bust those myths today, and then I will also clip this thing and I'll put it out there separately after a link after a live.
Got it.
So that is something very interesting that we can do right now. So yeah, let's
Sure,
bust some myths.
sure. So first myth is this is a non-technical role. People who
Oh
can
yeah.
well, people who can talk well, present well, and do nothing are good for this role. Second myth. It's a technical role. You have to talk to developers. Developers will not like you if you cannot talk tech with them, or you cannot at least understand their problem, or connect with them. Resource, either give them the answer yourself, connect with them someone, or connect with them with a resource. So and it
Exactly, yeah.
and this role is like you are out in the open. If I was as a developer, right, I was doing a job where I was totally hidden and shielded. If I spill, it's okay, but I cannot spill on my demo and my talk. CFP deadline is a deadline, is a strong hard deadline. If you have a talk, you cannot fall sick. If you're falling sick, that day there might be some backups already at the conferences, because they select a few backup speakers as well, and they will be speaking in your slot. It's gone. And in fact, I was in that kind of phase when I was sick. I got CFP selected in Zoom launch Malaysia. That was gonna be my first international conference, but I was sick. I was on 4 weeks leave. That is where I sent my direct report to speak there. So that is what,
Mm.
you are out in the open. You cannot slip. And there have been instances when I have gone to a corporate. I was at Amadeus actually, and I even wrote about it. I was having diarrhea, but I took the medicine and I spoke. And I also did some customer one on one sessions. So that is what is the challenge. So it's always a pro and con. You cannot say, okay, they don't do anything, they just have to travel. Even, traveling is takes a toll on you. I have done 3 cities in 1 week, within 1 week. So I got dehydrated, and that is when I got. So you have
Yeah,
to do
yeah, that
something, and you
happens. Yeah.
I used to get my bags, and sometimes I'll not even unpack it, because I was like, okay, half of the stuff I have any which was to take it back. So before I could unpack it properly, I was packing again, and that has happened so many times. So the thing is, like some of the people are really fit for just like a normal software engineering or SD or tech lead job, and some people are really meant for this kind of role. I think I was meant for this role. So if you are meant for this role, you will do really well, and it will look like it will come easily to you. Like you can do the things, like I really like travel. So that is where it's a myth that this job is easy. In fact, you cannot even fail, because if you fail in one talk, it will be all over LinkedIn and Twitter and wherever.
Exactly, exactly. Because you're already out there and people are
Yes,
already commenting on your post. There's a lot of interaction.
right.
So one bad step, one bad marketing, one bad PR
Yes,
disaster, and then
right.
it can also like personal brand. So it will go in shares, but like also your company's
Also,
brand will also get affected.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You're
So
carrying your brand as well as your company's brand. So a lot at stake. So that is why, even if you go into any engineering role, right, when you are just an IC, you don't have that many. Like you will have maybe complicated work, but you will not have that much ownership and responsibility. When you go up and out in public, right, you have more and more ownership. So taking that ownership is the complexity.
exactly. Yeah. That ownership is also so just talking about the ownership, right? I wanted to take a leap onto this other role, which is not mistaken actually, but it is very much aligned to developer relation. That is DevX engineers, right? Developer experience engineers. So basically, they are there to make the experience of engineers inside the team better. And then they also want to make good documentation so that people who are going to use the product
Right.
should have a better way integrating it. So let's just touch upon it, and like if there are any correlations, and how is the role different or how is the role similar.
Sure. So there could be a separate team sitting for writing the fluent documentation, like very well versed and writing each step. That is different. The documentation. Okay, how will you use this feature? But then, and it might also give you links to some technical blogs. But then there is another thing: a developer writing from a developer's perspective. This is documentation written on the behalf of the product. Okay, these are the features. And then there are technical blogs. So DevRel is thinking from a developer or engineer perspective, trying to search, that product, reading through its documentation and trying to build something. What are the challenges that developer will face? So I think that is why there is intersection. Definitely, this person can work like that. This person can work like that, and they can, change teams. But still, both are needed. Someone who will do the entire end-to-end documentation specifying each of the products feature, that will take its own journey, and that will be a separate team. Mostly that is a separate team. And even when we announced, we did not say we'll do a documentation into it, but we'll definitely do tech blogs where we will be going as an engineer, googling it out, how easy for me is to find the documentation or anything I'm looking for, and how I am able to build that. And in fact, I did that. So because I moved from engineering to dev advocacy, the challenges I faced while making something from scratch, because I used to actually go to the real documentation instead of internal resources and find out challenges. And I actually so there was a feature like client side field level encryption. I found some issues and I reported that this is not very clear, or not very simple for someone to understand how to do it, and this is missing. So these kind of things can happen only if you are thinking from a developer's perspective and writing tech blogs as a developer.
Hmm. Amazing. So so
Did
yeah,
I
yeah,
answer
carry
your
on.
question? Because everyone in the audience as well, this is a very dynamic conversation. So Nimit just gave me the questions a little bit, only 15 minutes back. I did not have the time to think through. I am giving dynamic answers, whatever I am getting it.
Yes.
So if I'm
Even
not,
I had my content actually sorted out 15 minutes ago, because I had a lot of questions, but I didn't know how to have a carry out conversation, because the main thing is here, because we have a lot of points to touch upon. We cannot have a stream of thoughts here. Like we can just go on with few pointers, and then we can start just build a conversation on that, right? So the next question that I have about this is, what do you feel about in general communities, hackathons, and how do you think a DevRel can leverage these components, these functions, and build the product around it?
sure. So I think product around it means a product which I have to showcase to these communities, and how I can
Yeah,
pivot and make it better.
yeah.
So communities, hackathons. I think a lot of passionate people come there. A lot of people come for networking. A lot of people come to secure jobs. If I am talking about India, there might be differences, a bit of differences in the other countries, because I feel that a lot of passionate people, only passionate people who are passionate on tech or that product, they will land up in the communities. For India, people come to the communities, hackathons, for different reasons. And then
Definitely.
there is a stream of tech influencers, a lot of them my friends. So they are totally different because they are mostly in the edtech. So in India, there are different kind of communities: language passionate communities, cloud passionate communities, and then hackathons. And a lot of people in these communities to get associated with those brands, and uh, get jobs, make a brand, network. And then these tech influencer people really want to get jobs as just like them, make a successful career just like them. So these kind of things are there in India, as per my observation. If someone is unhappy with whatever I'm saying, I'm just blurting out whatever I really feel, and we can chat. But so in India, the situation is a little different, and what we can do is we have to stay connected with all of these people, because in some way or the other, they are developers and they are related to tech. So if you can showcase your product to them, and then you will definitely have some kind of adoption barriers, like for example what they are facing when they are actually using your product, and why they are not able to go ahead, and why they are thinking of dropping it, these kind of things. Then if they're feeling that something is really missing, let's say for example they want a dark theme for your product, then you can do the feedback loop from these communities. It does not matter if someone was there for networking or for securing a job. At the end of the day, they are coders, they are engineers, they are developers, so they can definitely give us something which we can take back or which we can learn from, and then we can pivot the product accordingly. And for the tech influencers also, they attract a lot of developers who are, who want to make a life like them, and they teach a lot of things. Like when I say edtech, they teach a lot of good practices, DSA, low level design, high level design, or maybe system design, and then other things. So a lot of developers are present in those communities as well, and we can get a lot from there as well. And then these tech influencers sometimes end up using your product in their, side hustle or startup where they want to innovate on the edtech. So
Amazing. Understood. So, just adding on to adding a question onto this. So, for example, you just mentioned that it is very important to get this feedback loop running, right?
right,
And so you would have to go to your PMs and then talk about these things that are happening, and then like, so
right,
what what would you suggest, like, for a startup, right? Let's get into the solution part of it. We have already talked about the question, the problems that people are facing.
yes, yes,
Let's get into the solution part of it, and we
right,
can also move on to talking about how Devil Squad is going to solve it. So just tell
thank you.
me how these startups, I have seen this trend, right? Here a lot of startups are going open source first, creating a beautiful community around it, developers who are using it for free for I guess a year or two, and then they start their own cloud plan, and then they get a lot of customers there, and that plan has worked for everyone out there. Okay, I have
Yes,
a number of organizations who are working seamlessly, MongoDB one of them. So
yes.
just wanted to know, like, how can you as a DevRel provide a solution to these startups, these companies who are coming out there, and how can you market their developer tools in a better way?
Right. So I think if they are in beta or community phase, like as open source, we can still do the same activities, and we can get people who are passionate to contribute to our open source, as well as, again, do some kind of testing like bug bashes. So we can report those bugs. So that will do the feedback loop. Once all that is fixed and we are sure, then we can go to GA. And then the GA, like I joined as a DevRel when things were in the journal level, most of the things. And that is when my DevRel function will not have that kind of bug bashes, and, treating my audience as a tester. These kind of things will not come in when most of the features are in generally available. But if you talk about the very, very initial stages of a startup and they are in open source, either they have the community version or some kind of beta version. So these kind of things we can do, like the closing the food feedback loop will happen by getting a lot of people, developers who can test my product, and that can happen through see, conferences you cannot do a bug bash, so you have to do events which are like 2 to 3 hour long workshop, where first you have to enable them, and then you have to see how many issues, what kind of issues they're running into. Once you have a product which is stable enough and people have used it for some years, then basically you can just scrape the internet and get the adoption barriers. So so both the things are different, but same people can do it. It's just that how you look at it, and what is the stage we are at. And then even sometimes the product is totally ready, they have a community version, which you were saying, talking about, right? They will still keep the community version, and they will go with a cloud plan. So now you have to focus on making people who are in community, looking at the GA version of the cloud plan, so that they can move. So that is one of the prime focuses. So you have to see, you have to showcase that, okay, how this will solve your problem, rather than having the bug bash or having them as beta testers. Okay. I was curious to how DevRel teams justify their value and activities to our. Wow, actually, everyone is solving that problem. So, metrics. So justify their value. And does upper management care a lot about ROI from DevRel activities, and do they track business impact in organization? So you can definitely track a bit of it. Like for example, we did a few field marketing campaigns which were associated to my webinars, and whoever click the CTA link from that webinar or that blog, that can be quantified a bit. They do care about the ROI. See, everything is business at the end of the day. So that is one thing. And as a DevRel squad, we are trying to solve that somehow. So there will be input metrics, what you got, like number of attendees, quality of attendees, and then output metrics, how many leads, and what is, like, what kind of audience you were expecting, and what is the gap, something like that. These kind of input and output metrics, which will help you quantify some of the things. And then there will be field marketing campaigns where, and you can enter some of the leads, they can enter for you, you can get them. And there could be, CTA link, UTM metrics which you can track. DevRel, to work to do not lose its essence because of this pressure points. They should be kept separate from any kind of targets as such. That is why this consulting made sense to me, and that idea came because of that problem only. If company is not sure where I should start my, where should I set up, whether I should set up a DevRel, and where should I keep it, CTO, CMO, or in the middle somewhere. So it's like, okay, we are there, and just give the problem statement to us, and we should believe in the product first on our own, and then only we can showcase that product to our community. So what we are doing is, we are trying to form our chapters in 11 to 12 cities in India. And that is where these communities will have their chapter leads who can, conduct events. So that is where your reach, awareness, and engagement can come from. And then as you mature with the product journey, you can work on a little bit of enablement, where you do like 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours workshops, where you actually enable these people with different kind of clouds, different kind of languages. So there could be multiple combinations, and then penetrate through these communities, as well as conferences, depending on who, what your product is, what domain is. And apart from all this, like after this, then you can basically give back them adoption barriers, like what are the adoption barriers of your product, what is the value proposition of your product against the competitors, closing the feedback loop from them depending on the stage they are in, and then also give them some kind of qualified leads. So that is where the entire journey is. And DevRel teams can definitely justify their value with the tracking things I gave, and some metrics which will depend on the product totally.
Definitely, definitely.
Which
So
I
what
answered,
I could,
Raghavendra. Just
yes,
confirming with
yes,
Raghavendra, if I answered, or maybe I touched upon some of the part. But yes, DevRel, upper management tracking DevRel, because it's very hard to track awareness and reach at this, even like, so that is the maturity we are trying to automate. Yeah,
exactly.
go on,
So
Nimit.
hey Raghavendra, did we answer your question? You can let us know in the chat section, and if you have any follow up questions, please let us know. And we also have a good Twitch audience with us. Hey guys, just introduce yourselves. We also have some people from LinkedIn. Just introduce yourselves. Let us know where you're coming from. If you have any question, any dumb questions you have about DevRel in general, if you have any questions about software engineering, ask us, because we are jack of all trades and we try to answer everything. But as Mega said, we will be very honest about this. And one follow up from what Mega answered, I'll just like to encapsulate the whole answer into these three things. That DevRel DevRel Squad is in general trying to encapsulate on this 3 points. We are going to advertise your brand, obviously. We are going to work as a function for enablement, so that we understand ki, are people actually using it, and would they be able to feasibly use your product or not. And the last and the foremost, the most important part of it, when you are in alpha beta testing, as Mega said, the feedback loop, the bug bashing, which is very important when you are actually going to release your product. And one more thing that Mega also said was GA. Would Do you think this feature should be generally available? GA is generally available actually. So should these features be out there available or not? That you can absolutely do with our cohorts, that you could do with our events. So That is what we are specializing into. And obviously, Mega will talk more about Devil Squad and how she wants to solve these problems. She also has a wonderful vision on how she wants to make this more automated, the whole process of DevRel in general automated. So, yeah, Mega, to you.
So I was just adding one thing. There are no dumb questions. When they called me for MongoDB, what I asked the recruiter is, "What is a developer advocate?" They told me, "Okay, it's teaching, it's traveling, and little bit of tech." So I was like, "Okay." Then they explained me the role. So there are no dumb questions. Like I have asked such questions 2 years back. So
Exactly, yeah.
and I think in DevRel Squad, first problem we are trying to solve is if you don't know where to put the org, just come to us. Secondly, we are trying to get the products in which we really believe in. And then, as you said, we'll do marketing in some way. So it cannot be just like a social, okay, just talking about architecture of the product. Nobody would read it. How can I make an e-commerce system, or how can I make something, some platform which has so much invariant traffic, or some other use case which I can build, maybe healthcare use case I can build using this product. That is how you have to write that technical story out for social engagement. And then building the community will definitely help. You can, you are already paid to do the to say good things, to be the hero, but can you get external people who are just speaking good things about your product without getting paid? Maybe a little bit of goodies, but it's mostly out of passion and their love for the product. That is where the communities will help. And later on, if you have so many people in the community, in your network, let's say sometimes clashes are there for the meetups and conferences and for customer corporate events, so you can do the prioritized ones, and then external advocates or people from the community can go and speak at the other events. So that
Definitely,
is
yeah.
how you amplify your network so much, and this reach, awareness, engagement helps you so much that corporates actually starts calling you. Can you enable us on this? And then you get the leads. So that is, it's like on our site also we have that our pillars: reach, awareness, engagement, enablement, and then actual adoption, which happens.
Amazing. I will just drop Devil Squad's link in the chat so that people
Wow.
can actually visit the website once. And yeah,
We are still revamping the site, and we will make it a little more lively in a few days. So this is the first version. If you don't like it, please give us the feedback. We'll try to incorporate it. We are revamping and we'll announce very soon.
yes. So one more important question. I guess there will be a lot of teenagers who will be joining with us, and they would want to know how would they be able to associate with us at Devil Squad, and how is it going to help them? What are the different opportunities as chapter lead? How can they be an organizer? So yeah, over to you.
Sure. So at this moment, I was thinking of 1 to 4 chapter leads per city, and trust me, I have got my chapter, including Nimit, who will be the chapter lead for Bangalore, and we have got around 11 to 12 chapter leads for different cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad. I am there, but one more chapter lead, and then Chennai. We have Dehradun, Chandigarh, Ahmedabad, and Jaipur. These are the cities
Nice.
we have already created a presence in. And you can be definitely as an attendee, you can join our events whenever we have such a gig. We do such events, or you, if you want to be an organizer or a speaker at these events, those will be either the paid gig, or we'll compensate with some goodies as per the sponsorship opportunity. And trust me, we are not going to promote anyone's product just like that, just because we want to have business. What we'll do is we'll try to promote those products which will actually solve developers life, and which are really good. So we'll try to have different products in different domains. So we'll not be like, okay, one day I'm promoting one edtech, and second day I'm promoting another edtech. What I'll do is, if we have one db product, we'll try to keep it to that. Or maybe if I have a different db, but I'll see what is the value proposition and make it a fair, fair messaging, consistent messaging. And let's say if I have a db product, maybe I can go for some auth product or some payment. So I have different avenues, different clients. that is where I will be doing justice and honesty for my community. And you can be
Exactly.
involved as whatever I mentioned, attendees, organizers, speaker, just reach us out. I think you can go to the DevRelSquad page, and if you see the employees or people, you will find the chapter leads have already added, and we'll announce as well in a few days. We'll be announcing through company page, so
Exactly.
just check them
Exactly.
out. Yeah.
So yeah, uh, I'll just drop your LinkedIn so that people can
And
connect with you. And yeah, yeah, go on. Go on.
apart from that also, we are forming an engineering team which will work on a little bit of scraping and little bit of generative AI, as I was talking about, right? We want to automate some of the things which we were doing. Actually, I made a product, and in MongoDB, small product, very simple, use and throw kind of product. So want to make it a little better, maybe firstly to do my startup pitch to my clients, and generating some reports with the insights which can be useful for DevRel, but we'll productize. So we have already hired a backend engineer, and we'll be hiring some front end and AML people as well, because we want to make sure that whatever our tool is saying is little bit accurate. Like we can't match Claude or Devin, but at least GPT. So that is where our vision is. So engineering teams as well, but we are currently already interviewing a few people, and we don't need so many people at the moment.
Amazing, amazing. That seems like an exciting opportunity to work for a DevRel firm. And I guess this is for the first time someone is trying to get DevRel, I
As a
guess
consultant,
the DevRel consultancy in India, right? This concept
not
was not
India,
there
it's
out
like
there.
global. It's so
Yeah,
whatever exists, right? They basically train DevRel. So I had a word with a few international people in my circle as well, and if I'm not wrong, we are pioneer in the world by thinking something like this. But
that's amazing. So the packages that we will be rolling out would set out actually a base for a lot of different products who would come after us. So yeah, like we are a pioneer in this field, and we are going to touch a lot of avenues into this, and we would be talking more about Devil Squad on our LinkedIn posts. You can follow Mega. I've sent her LinkedIn profile in the chat. Please do follow her. Do reach out to her. She's super friendly on LinkedIn. She answers you within. I get answers within like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So in general, she answers very quickly on LinkedIn, and she's super helpful with anything, not just DevRel in general, software engineering, be it DSA, be it low-level system design, anything you can ask her. And because we are trying to create a very safe space, safe environment for developers to come out and reach out to us, because we also want to understand what this generation of developers, how this generation of developers are coming out, and what are their thought processes, because these people are going to be the future fang
future,
engineers and
yes,
future engineers who are going
yes,
into these corporates.
right,
And if we can help them to understand, to have the best developer tools with them, they will only eventually talk to their PMMs and their technical leads to use these technical products. And
right,
that is our value proposition, that we are going to have these very safe community. First of all, that is the pillars itself is like we have to create a safe community for people, because a lot of people are beginners, right? They come from a very little background, like they just know Python, they just know HTML, CSS, and then they eventually grow, they eventually learn a lot of newer things. So we want to curate. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions, come to us. You can even say hi to me on LinkedIn. I'm 24/7 actually available on LinkedIn. That is my forte. And you can say hi to me. And yeah, if I would be of any help, I would do that. And Mega already mentors, I guess now 300 plus people have already
I
mentored.
think I've mentored individually and then with institutes, so at least 1,000 plus, because I was associated with some edtechs as well, and that is how I got the idea of connecting both the communities, the passionate cloud communities or product communities, and the edtech community.
Amazing, amazing. So exactly. So Mega can also be a mentor to you if you have any doubts into what career choice you want to
Go
go
to my
into.
Instagram. Go to my Instagram. Yeah, go to my Instagram.
Yes, I will just do
That
that.
is,
I will push.
yeah, that is more edtech. So at this moment, when I visited a few colleges as well recently, so I could understand that people are not doing only the core concept data structure algorithm LLD and HLD. They're also focusing on making a few projects for their resume. One in MLA and AI, and one in something similar. Like most of the people are choosing MERN, and they are trying to do something where they can showcase their full stack skills. So that is how it has become hard to secure a job at college level, and everyone knows, I think 36% of IIT Bombay people are still unplaced, then 45% for IIT Madras, and India is apparently producing is the word we use, 1.5 million engineers every year, CSIT, just CSIT, as per 2019 stats. So you can understand how much gap is there. And so the vision is to not only connect the tech with the latest trends and latest products which can help them create their projects and you do full stack and do their projects fast, but also a vision to create these kind of opportunities for India. For example, if we start something like a DevRel firm, and we want our community to be very strong, so these kind of tech plus techno functional kind of opportunities where you will be speaking at events, these kind of opportunities are very few at the moment, and they have just started 2 to 3 years back. So the vision is to grow these kind of opportunities as well, to absorb the workforce we have. And why people are not able to penetrate into such a huge and good workforce, and why people share their plans to penetrate India, is because of the disconnect between the communities. So that is
Yeah.
what the vision is. Yeah.
That is amazing, and I know with the vision that you are carrying right now, we will be able to penetrate India in a wonderful way. We are already touching on to a lot of avenues on how we would be able to do that. So all the best to us actually, and yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Let's moving on to the one last question. I think we are already at our time. We are already
Yeah,
past
1
9
hour
p.m. But
past.
I guess people are already with us. That means that they're excited to know about DevRel more. And if you have any questions about DevRel, we are going to be here for more 5-10 minutes. Ask
Yeah.
away your in any questions you have. Ask us. Don't be shy. Just ask in the chat. We will be available to answer them. And one last important question that I had with Mega was okay, I have to check my list now. Where was the question? Yeah. So one thing that I have been seeing is that uh, you people might have heard about Devin, right? And how it is going to take a lot of jobs. And Devin is still one more thing that is very important. Devin is still not enrolled
Sorry, I'm
its
laughing.
production.
Yeah,
Yeah,
serious topic. Yeah. Tell
it's
me, tell me.
okay. It's okay. It's laughable topic for everyone actually. Like we will make it laughable. Mega will also give you more context to it. This, but Devin in general is like a promotion to like developers are going to get obsolete, and the funny thing being they are still not in production. And one news that I heard, I don't know how much righteous it is, but the news was the whole mock that they showed, they were trying to solve an Upwork problem, okay, and they
Yeah.
were not actually able to solve it. When you actually go into that video and you see the solution, they were not actually solve the real problem.
Oh,
And
okay.
Devin
I
shows that
did that.
Devin shows that it was done in like what 5 to 10 minutes. It actually took hours for that PC to complete that whole thing. Uh, but to their open source alternative, we already have Devika, which is an
Yeah.
Indian open source. Yeah.
Indian Open.
So I don't think so. We would ever be able to obsolete a developer's job who is able to think outside the box and make something outside the box like these softwares, right? These softwares in general would need developers. So people who are in the top 5%, top 5 to 2%, are not going to get obsolete. So moving on to this, DevRel in general lore, I guess, is not going to get obsolete by AI. I feel that is my personal yeah, because
I hope
AI
so.
cannot go in front of 200 people and have an interactive session, understanding human emotions, trying to understand how an AI would be able to help their careers, cannot emotionally attach to a person and understand their needs. So yeah, just can you just touch upon this topic, Mega, and like how do you feel about AI
Sure.
replacing them?
Okay, okay. So the product I am planning to make will have generative. It will be like a DevRel GPT. So don't throw stones at me, or block me on
No, no,
LinkedIn or
definitely.
stuff. Because I am trying to bring AI to DevRel. One thing, but second thing is I recently did a Gen AI session at LPU, and after everything I showed them, I was like, "Job jayegi kya?" And they were like, "No." I proved it on the stage live. I actually used a product. I'm not defaming any product. It was a very good product. It generated a lot of code for me. I was making a front end project which I was using to hit the weather APIs, one of the free usage API to practice your APIs. So getting the weather and displaying it in the front end. So it gave me the index.html, it gave me the JS, but it did not add it as the script. It did not tell me what kind of project structure to make. It did not, until unless I specified the library, it did anything it wanted. It maybe sometimes it wrote that fetch code, sometimes it wrote axios code. It did whatever it wanted to. And then the weather API also, sometimes it was rightly written, or sometimes it missed the wrong parameters were there, so it was not working. So I showed them, after generating the code and reiterating with the chatbot which I used for code assist. Now we have chatbots as well for code assist. So that was generating a lot of code, and it was working. Almost 90% of my job was done. But where to write that code? The structure, which is the most important problem to solve while doing any engineering project. Where would you keep that code, and how will you connect it? And once it also generated the entire code in a very single file, in just a single file. So I had to separate it out. So I showed them all that, and that is where I made them believe that your job will not go until unless you are able to break a problem, like problem solving, break a bigger problem into smaller problems which has been solved, connect all that, and then also understand, okay, is the solution right or wrong. So just
Hmm.
focus on your basics, but also learn how to make yourself faster using generative AI. Yes,
Exactly. I
yes,
feel developers who won't acknowledge that generative AI is good and that it is going to help a lot of things, it would help us as a co-pilot. If they would acknowledge that, those jobs would be obsolete because acknowledgement is important, right? And as and when newer technologies have arrived, we have obviously not buried them. We have
yes.
acknowledged
We
that
have to
they have
embrace.
some different functionalities. Exactly. And
Yeah.
that is something that we have to learn as a developer, and then we have to yeah, enable it in our products. So we have a very amazing interesting question from Megesh Shenoy.
I saw that.
So
Like his name as very much. Sorry for being a little biased there. Megesh, very nice name. So yes, I
yes,
saw
yes,
that, and
yes.
I'm ready with the answer. So it will be Azure for now. All my demos also, for the session I just did at LPU, I use Google. But somehow, being ex Microsoft, I have some loyalties towards Azure. So yeah, Azure OpenAI. So that will be my LLM, which I'll be using for my engineering product. As of now, that is what I've decided. But we might change if we are not getting those kind. However, 99% we are gonna stick with Azure OpenAI. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. That's good. That's good. So yeah, so nice. If you're just talking about products, I would like to talk about this good bit about recently Google had a very good conference. It was a virtual conference. It was virtual plus live for a lot of people in US.
Which one?
Uh,
You were at a conference.
yeah, I attended it virtually because I didn't
Okay.
have US
Oh,
visa, neither
nice.
do I have the passport.
Mhm.
But yeah, moving forward to the question, the anecdote that I was going on with was so they have recently started with, mm, I guess I don't remember their name, but because they have this thing which is connecting all the open LLMs out there, right? And which is also connecting their own LLM, which is there. Okay, like they are able to connect to
Build
Gemini,
their
they
own.
are able to connect to
Okay.
Llama, so they are
Love.
also able to connect to a lot of open source LLMs. So that is something which Google is pivoting into, and
Right.
I guess LLMs have got a very good hyped up process into this. And like, just wanted to ask you, like, where do you see these LLMs like growing into? Like, do you see these LLMs growing into something more than they are right now, or do you think they are already saturating the market?
So I okay, I know a few LLMs, and when you talked about Gemini, I recently used Gemini Code Assist where I was just chatting. So I feel I think the power of LLM model will come in the specialization. How much you can do like how can easily can you do the retrieval augmented generation, supplement it with vector search, and get more and more accurate answers. That is where I think this future of LLM, like how easy is to it to using a LLM framework like Llama Index, LangChain, to specialize that LLM for your own use case and keeping your data private. So I think that is the future, and it does not matter. See, I had seen something where Devin was showing its accuracy to be like multifold, and then Claude, and then some more LLMs, and then OpenAI. So see, LLMs on journal are yeah, there are so many GPTs, Megesh, which can generate videos. So yes, I know that, but tried doing that, but I did not like that video to be posted on my Insta. So coming back, maybe a paid version will do, but I did not try the paid version. However, I was just coming back to GPTs. Like I use GPT-4, right? So a lot of GPTs are there for which are specialized and fed on that data. So let's say I have this DevRel use case, and my base LLM is trained on the Internet of Idiots. I am also writing, Nimit is also writing, Megesh also writing, and then Amazon also writing blogs, Google people also writing, Azure people also writing. So now it can have hallucination. It does not know which is the right answer, but plus it can be backdated. So if I have my PII data or something, my specialized data, which is not available on the internet, which is more relevant to my domain and my people, so I have to feed it. So if I have to do something like a Gen AI dashboard, I cannot just rely on any LLM implementation. I have to specialize it. That how will I do that? By vector search. How will I do that vector data to it, like vector search on the DB? Either I can have a separate vector store and get the vector data from that. So in that case, if I have a separate vector store, whatever crud and transaction is happening on my DB, I have to keep syncing that data with my vector, so there will be eventual consistency, lag of a few minutes to hours depending on your domain. And then you have to actually feed these vectors. Like for example, chat GPT has a retrieval plugin. You can use that if you are using, I think, Llama Index. So you can just feed it, and then you start getting more specialized answers. And you can also do like in the prompt itself. Let's say you are hitting the OpenAI API, right? So you can, in the prompt itself, you can send some specialized information, then the LLM will answer according to that. So that is how I think the LLM future looks like to me. Making it specialized, if you can make it easily specialized, that is the one developers will start using. And again, for LLMs also, you need this DevRel journey, as well as you will have adoption barriers, and you will have some feedback loop. Did I answer that question? Sorry. As per, like, because I am not like so well versed with Gen AI, but I know a little bit. So with my limited knowledge, if I tried to answer that question.
Yes. I hope, Megesh, that answered your question. And if not, please let us know with a follow-up question on anything.
Yeah.
And with that, Mega, would you like to just conclude and summarize our whole conversation into few pointers so that people who are still with us can get a gist of what we already had conversed about? So,
Sure. So we talked about what is DevRel, how DevRel happened in my life from engineering to DevRel. Then the most important part was like after what is DevRel, we summarized it like it's like B2C. You are talking to a customer who is like very niche customer. It's a developer. So for talking to a developer, you cannot be just any person. You have to be a developer. You have to step in their shoes. Most importantly, you have to advocate for developers first and then your product. and you have to genuinely believe, honestly love your product, and also understand what are the competitors doing and other possibilities around there, because you can do a lot of, there's no silver bullet in system design, there is no right answer, you can do things in multiple ways. So that you have to understand, you have to understand the value proposition, and then you have to be honest with the audience. Coming back to the myths, it's not a non-technical role, it's a very much technical role. It's not easy because you are out there in the public. You can have failures, but it'll affect your personal brand as well as company's brand. So, and you can spill some of the tasks when you are in engineering journey, but your CFP, call for proposal for any conference, or the conference date is a hard deadline. You can either you skip it, or you give a chance to some other speaker in your place, or you send a backup on in your place if you are ill. So for engineering, someone else can fix that bug, or deliver that feature for you if you're really sick for a longer time or it spills. So that is one thing, and it's not for people who are just good at presenting it. It is a technical plus presentation role, so you should be good at communication, uh, and not maybe communication but soft skills, presentation skills, and tech skills, because after the conferences you have to talk to a lot of people, so you should make people feel important. See, people at the end of the day might not remember your talks end to end. They will just remember, okay, maybe this product has the potential to solve my problem. Second thing is how you treated them, whether they are in college or they're CTOs, CIOs, or CEOs or founders. You have to treat them with equal respect. So that is where being a DevRel comes in. And apart from that, we discussed a little bit on DevRel Squad's journey, and how we thought of consulting in DevRel Squad, and then the product we are trying to work on, how we automate DevRel Squad, bring some generative AI in DevRel. Let's see. And then apart from that, I think we discussed what is the future for elements. I summarized. Did I summarize?
Amazing. Yes, you did summarize everything, I feel.
Sure.
And with that, we are over 15, 17 minutes actually. And we had an amazing session. We had around, I guess, 25 to 50, 50 no, 35 people on our stream. And individually, we had more people actually during the span of it. So we had a different sets of people joining us in different sets of times, and I hope they understood every bit that we explained. And if you folks still are with us, you can ask any questions to us. You can reach out to us online. I've already shared all the links, and with that, uh, I feel we would be coming with more live sessions like these. Thank you so much, Megesh, for the nice comments.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, Mesh.
yes, we would come with a lot of content like this. We would have different topics, and we would try to make it more and more unique every week. And we would try to be more. Try to touch more avenues. And if you have any ideas, right, like this is not, obviously community is about its members, its contributing team. So if you have any ideas that you want to put forth, and you want to make sure we talk about it, do let us know, reach out to us. Thank you so much. So
Sure.
with this,
That's
Mega, uh, let's wait for our next Twitch live stream. Okay, next time
absolutely.
we would do this on your LinkedIn.
Sure, we'll try doing that. And thank you for putting it through that this is a two-way street. So people, all feedback and ideas are open. Like we are open to those, and we can bring out more content, and we can also do some tech live stream or demo in the future. Sure. See you. Thank you. Thank you, Nimit.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.